guys, it's Princess Sue.
What's up, kittens? It's me, Chelsea.
And this is kind of like a sort of update video? Yeah.
It's a notice for you to take notice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just to let you know what you're watching, this is supposed to have come out, in the holiday season. And because of my poor planning with my family's plans, I did not get the audio part recorded before the video part. Yeah, it just didn't end up working out. So just watch this adorable Featherfall holiday picture get colored.
Yay.
Even though it's not the season.
No.
It is really cute. It's adorable. You did such a great job on the line art.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I had a lot of fun and redrew it twice.
Oh, man. Yeah, I went through a couple art styles before it landed on what it was.
I'm not good at consistency.
And that's okay. That's why we love you.
Yes, it's fine. That's why the thumbnails all look weird as shit.
So yeah. There's a little bit of trivia there, too. Chelsea does all the line art, and I do all the coloring for every girls' night and slumber party.
Except the overcooked thumb where I tried, but I kind of ran out of time. So, sorry about that one, guys. Yeah. But it's okay.
Oh my gosh. This is basically kind of our start of the year to let you know what's been going on, what is happening behind the screen where we've been working and talking and doing things as the Featherfall staff. On Featherfall specifically, this year we have not been as active. Partway through the year, Emmy, or as she's decided to become now, Rose, which is how I'll refer to her from now on in the video, decided that she wanted to move all of the content for Girls' Night and Slumber Party over to their own channel as to not mess with all the dubbing content and stuff we were doing on Featherfall. And so we moved all out of our content over to Night Owls. Which, if you are a subscriber to Night Owls as well, you will know we're actually fairly consistent on uploading over there. Most of the time, we get one video a week out. And then there was October. We don't talk about October.
We don't talk about when Chelsea was dead. In the woods, scaring kids.
It was great.
Yeah.
So, that is part of the reason why Featherfall has become so kind of dead, where we upload once a week sometimes.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things we're currently uploading is Sally Face, which I know there's lots of people going like, where's Sally Face? And I'll get into that later in this update, but I will address it, I promise. I think one of the biggest changes that most people might not have known about is that there was a internal staff change on who became in charge of Featherfall. That is because Rose decided to step down as being the head director of operations. That's what it is. It's head director of operations or something like that.
We did it.
It's the person who's in charge of everything. She has been doing this for a number of years. I don't know how long Featherfall's been around. Longer than me. I've not been in Featherfall since the beginning.
A hot minute.
It's a lot of years. It's been a lot of years. Minimum 5, probably 7. And so she decided that for her own personal reasons that she wanted to step down, and she messaged both me and Chelsea about it and said that if she could pick anybody to take over for her, it would be me. If I didn't want to do it, then she'd find somebody else. And I took, time to think about it, and I finally decided that I did want to do it. And so over the part of the time where we've been dead is because Rose has been trying to hand me all of the information and files and everything for Featherfall so that I can, take over and run. There's so many files.
There are so many files. So many.
There are so many files, it broke my computer.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Oh, man, that was a really rough, month. Luckily, through this staffing change, pretty much everybody has been willing to support it and has been supporting me, which has been really awesome. And especially Chelsea, who I think your direct thing was, you just tell me what I need to do and I'm going to be here to support you, which is basically what it was.
I like just doing things.
Which I don't think I could ever have taken over if I didn't have you, so thank you.
You're welcome. for my existence. I try my
You're
best.
my support net. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Very happy to be a part of it.
Because of this change, there are things that are going to be changing because Rose's ambitions and dreams, although similar to mine, are different. I do enjoy doing the fan dubbing content. I have done 3 out of the one of the 3 biggest ones, but not the biggest dubbing on our thing, which is The String, which is definitely Rose's work. I did nothing except say, oh gosh, I can't even remember the line. I'm tired. It's been a really long.
Wasn't it just Hey?
Really long time. It was not Hey. It was the other person's name. It was Blanca. That was the only thing I did in that video was she's like, I need a person to say this one word for a recording. She gave me like a paragraph for backstory on this one word line. I nailed it. I am very proud of that moment. That's the dubbing project she ran. I ran Frambo, Stray Cat Casting, and I'm currently running Sally Face.
Yes.
And those kinds of dubs are, thank you for appreciating that. Those are the kind of dubs that I really enjoy. I really like watching games as movies. Like, I've done that. That's how I watched all of Kingdom Hearts, the first game. I literally just looked up the movie version where it was just all the cutscenes. And so, I believe that, when I make content I enjoy to watch. So that I'm proud of it because it's something I like. I don't know if that's how everybody does it.
I watch what I watch because I like watching it. I like making because I like entertaining.
Exactly. Yeah, because Girls' Night, which was kind of my idea, I really, really, really pushed for that.
And I helped.
You did. If you hadn't been there, it wouldn't have worked because it was just, I enjoyed how different you and I were and how unlikely our friendship would be. Like,
and still is.
Yes. It is really strange how good of friends we are. And so I'm like, like in that first video, what's the opposite of a cinnamon roll?
Fox.
It's a fox.
Fox and cinnamon roll.
Best duo.
Which never took off, by the way, which totally should have.
It should have.
Yeah.
But, it was just, and so I really pushed for that because I enjoyed our relationship and how unlikely it was. And so I'm like, I really want to make memories with Chelsea and I want to have a reason to do that. And so, I pushed for Girls' Night, which ended up becoming I don't know if it's my show or your show because it's really us.
Yeah.
It's our show.
I'm just louder. And I talk a lot.
Which is helpful when I get lost in the unnameable thing that we need to be able to move forward.
Don't say it here. This is for the kids.
No, this is not for the kids. We are not a kids channel.
It's for the kids. I'm gonna bleep.
Listen, we are not a kids channel.
I'm gonna bleep that word now.
No. I'm losing track of where I'm going. So because the dubbing content that I've run, 2 finished projects and 1 current project, that's where my passions are. I really like running people and doing voice acting. And then Girls' Night and now Slumber Party are also where my heart is. I like making content that I want to watch. And so that's the content I want to put out. And so if I'm not truly enjoying a project or wanting to do it, it's not going to be for me. So that being said, that means there is going to be a slight shift in how Featherfall runs from now on, which hopefully people stay to listen to figure that out.
Also, don't forget Second Glance.
That's true.
Neville
we
needs
can
some
talk
love.
about that.
Yeah.
Neville does need love. We have made fun of Neville I don't know how many times on Girls' Night and Slumber Party. Neville is an amazing person. He works really hard. I love him. And so he was trying to get a show produced back when Rose was running it, and it just never seemed to work out. We would never have the information or stuff he needed. We didn't have, like... it took him forever to get the musical jingle. That took a really long time to get together. And so it just... thing after thing after thing just kept failing. And so when a month or so after I took over, Neville's like, do you even really want to run this show Second Glance? And I go, shoot, I do, and let's get you all the stuff you need for that. And so how many episodes of Second Glance do we have out now? Is it 1 or is it 2?
I think we have 2. I think I have 3 all no, wait. We did might be 3.
I was going to say we have more, I think we have more than 1. I'm pretty sure we have more than 1.
Yeah, we have a couple.
I'm doing a quick.
We have extras. We have the platformer. No, the side scroller game, and then we
walked in the dark.
We walked in darkness.
And I think that's
side scroller.
Yeah, and
then one more.
I think that's it.
No, I definitely have a third one. Or maybe I just watched the third one, the pilot.
I was gonna say I think we've watched the third one, but we haven't actually uploaded it yet. But we will do that. And that's because I actually really enjoy Neville's show, and so I also want to give him like an outlet to be able to put it out on, because he's got this wonderful quirky sense of humor, and it's so good.
It is really nice.
And so it's just basically I'm trying to give people an outlet because again, I want to produce things I like, so if I like it and they want to do it, I want to give them a platform for it.
Right.
So coming around to if I like it, because I've taken over Featherfall, and because, as I mentioned earlier, if you're on Night Owls, we upload consistently. I think it's not fair to put so much time and effort and consistency onto a channel that isn't the one I'm in charge of. And because, like, my heart is in that content. I like the dubs. They take a long time to produce, but I like them. My heart is definitely just hanging out and being with people. And doing dumb stuff because it's fun.
That's the main gist of it.
Which is why I'm going to start moving the Night Owls content back over to Featherfall. Which means if you didn't watch this video and it just suddenly comes back, you're going to be really confused.
Yeah. The baseline is like, it's hard to get people to move from one place to another. And it made sense initially how Rose explained it, that people interested in gaming content aren't necessarily interested in story-based and project content, which is understandable. But if they come to our channel... And the people who are
interested in...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
And vice versa.
Yeah, so people coming to a channel, like, yeah, they may get us popping up in their subscription screen a little bit more, and they might not be interested in what's there, but, like... I don't unsubscribe to a channel when I see something pop up and it's like, oh, I don't really want to watch that video right now. But then it catches my eye a week later, something new. So it's like, because it's so spaced out with the projects, I think we need to have consistency on the main channel. And I definitely believe that that's a good step.
And we tried for at least half, like, going back, I'm going to look up it over here. We moved 7 months ago. We've tried it for about half a year, and it not only is the channel we're being consistent on not doing as well, we're not uploading content to the channel who should be getting the most content.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to, and because it's the content I want to do, and I've taken over Featherfall, I want to put the content I want on the channel I'm running.
Yeah. And it also doesn't make sense, especially with, like, the reason I think initially that we moved it as well was because Featherfall was more, like, family friendly, but with the whole COPPA thing, it makes more sense to kind of stabilize our channel as not that. Like... Exactly. Yeah, we're definitely not.
We were not intended for children. I think the lowest age we're intended for is 20s. It's like that college age range.
Maybe even,
and
like, 15. The lowest. I would say 15 just because I have a lower I was that 15-year-old. But that's like...
Yeah, I mean, there are 15-year-olds, but we don't, like, aim for the 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
I aim for college people.
I'm gonna aim 18 plus.
I was gonna say, 18 plus, yeah. It's, like, right in that college age range of just becoming an adult. That's where I aim.
Yeah.
That is my intention.
It's like, yeah, it's video games, but, like, it's little kids stabbing their cat to death. Like, that's a scene.
Like, that's normal.
Yeah, that's
like,
just a
that's
scene.
normal.
That's what we do. Not us personally, but that's what we do.
No. It's just, moving all that over is, like, my plan. So I'll start, well, I'm gonna do it.
Chelsea's probably gonna end up uploading other videos.
I was gonna say, Chelsea, who is much better about actually uploading videos.
Thank you. Chelsea's gonna do all the work and Sue's gonna look pretty. Hi.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all fine. I can't do that second thing, so it works out.
I was gonna say, I'll have the face and you do the work.
That's fine. My mom always said I had a face for radio.
Oh my gosh, that's so bad.
Oh, self-deprecating humor is the best.
Oh my gosh. I guess we'll probably not like all in one dump, but over time we'll start re-uploading some of the moving from, Night Owls over to Featherfall so that all of our Night Owls content is on Featherfall and you don't have to go to another channel to watch our older stuff. Yeah. Which might just mean unprivatizing some of the backed episodes. So moving on, so that we are definitely moving Night Owls over to Featherfall. Dubbing content is not disappearing. It's because it takes so long to produce. It takes a lot of massive amounts of hours and work. And I know I've talked about it in other podcasts, but I'm going to talk about it again because sometimes I don't think people understand. To produce one episode of any dub we do, I personally have to go through the chapter of the game minimum 5-6 times. I have to watch somebody else or play through the chapter to be able to know what I want to do, see all the options, hit all the things, and sometimes if there's choices that can change dialogue, I have to go and see how it changes the dialogue. Good reference for that is chapter 2 in Frambo, when you're in the house of the twins. You can lock yourself out of being able to talk to Mr. Midnight. They will shut the attic, depending on how you talk to them. I figured that out. I saw every playthrough where people lock themselves out of that. I accidentally stumbled upon where I figured out you didn't have to. And I decided I wanted to do that playthrough, which means I had to figure out the dialogue options that specifically got me that.
Yeah, just making sure that we're giving you the most story out of a game takes a whole lot of time. Because it's not like every walkthrough is going to be like 100% completion. Plus, trying to get 100% completion on a game, it's not necessary if there's no story involved in it. So,
Exactly.
And it's rough, too, because when we have multiple ending games, it's how do we pick the one that someone's going to be like, that's not the ending I wanted to see?
Yeah, and so it's judging those kinds of things. And so I go through, I watch, I make a whole, I watch, and then I get out paper and I write out every step of the way I have to do through the entire recording session to get our footage. And I sit there and it takes, oh my gosh, it takes so much time. I sit there and I read every line of dialogue to try to give my voice actors the maximum, the time they're gonna need to be able to actually say the line. And as the recording session goes on, I get worse at it because I'm tired and I've been doing it for hours.
And then Chelsea sometimes is I can't speed this up anymore, Sue. You click so fast.
Yeah. And so there's times where I have to go back and play through a chapter again to get the section where I decided to speed up so much that it is unusable and I have to re-record it. Once that's done, I have to send it to transcribers. And sometimes the transcriber is me. And so I sit there, and as long as the video is, it takes about double to maybe sometimes triple the amount of time of the video to transcribe it. Because you have to sit there, you have to click pause when the new line comes up. You type it in, you go back to the video, you hit play again, and then you switch back forth constantly. And this most recent episode of Sallyface, Chapter 3, that we have been working on for months, was an hour and 45 minutes
Yeah,
long.
it was.
And so the reason it has taken so long is because I didn't get the episode fully transcribed until last month.
Yeah, it was a rough one. And there's just, like, a lot of waiting, too, because it's, like, the amount of text. And then the voice actors, we have to wait on the lines to come in. And then...
I was going to say, then it's a couple weeks for the voice actors to get all their lines in. And sometimes we have people who, you know, have a life, and it takes them a little bit longer to get lines in.
Bunch of nerds.
Then Chelsea, our most wonderful main editor...
Thank you.
has to put it all together. She then sends me the first draft, and then I have to watch that to full completion. So at this point, I'm at, you know, watching this chapter 4 times.
And that's not even counting the times I gotta go yell at the voice actors to be better. No. It's mostly just like, hey, you missed this line, or hey, can you say this not like a robot, please? I love you.
Then if I have to have her do any changes on that video, I have to go back and watch the video again.
Same.
So by the time you get to see it, I've watched the video minimum of 5 times.
Yeah. And I've watched it in its entirety probably 17, because every new line needs me to watch it.
So by the time these chapters come out, we've seen it so many times. That's part of the reason it takes so long.
So we're glad you like it, because by the end of it, it's awful. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, I don't go back. Like, unlike Girls' Night, where I go and I watch our content, when a dub comes out, I'm like praising God, because it's like, thank gosh, I don't have to watch it again.
I just put it on mute, and I put it in the background to steal that view, because I am that shallow. But I will not. I can't. Like, sometimes I'll go back to, like, listen to certain people's voices, because Jackaroo is a friggin' maniac when it comes to voice acting. And then there's,
man.
if someone, like, is particularly amazing, I'll be like, this part I can listen to again, but...
Oh, the theater scene at the third episode of Stray Cat Crossing with the 2 people whose literal instructions were, I really want you to do your worst acting possible.
That was so funny.
Oh my gosh, it turned out everything I wanted it to be and more.
That was great.
Dubbing is not going away. I just want you to understand the hell it sometimes can be, and which is why it's so much easier for us and why we put effort into Girls' Night, because it's kind of our relief from doing all the crazy work.
It's definitely a lot more relaxing to sit here and play a game and try my best to be funny than it is to sit here and stare at a screen with music playing very, very softly so I can still hear the voice actors and clicking and then dragging and then clicking and then dragging and then clicking and then dragging.
Chelsea and we're going to finish out Sallyface, and then we're going to try to aim for some new dubs, and maybe even aim to do 2 at a time, so that hopefully we can maybe get the content out more consistently, which means we'd really... Like, Sallyface was your guys' pick. I knew of the game, I knew what it was, I knew that it was similar in a vein to Frambeau, which made it a pretty good matchup for dubbing content. But what really pushed Rose to pick it was you guys nonstop asking for it. A lot of our projects, Frambeau, which Rose gave me, was something that was like they did the first episode of, and then it was like 3 years before I came along. Or no, it was a year. I think it was a whole year before I came along and I finished it up. So there was many requests of, hey, please finish Frambeau. When are you going to finish Frambeau? And then Rose gave me the chance to just, pick a game. And I said, well, I want to use my place where I'm at, where I can influence people, to show a game that doesn't have much attention at all. And so that's why I picked Stray Cat Crossing, which is a really, really good game. It's got some, great stuff in it. Seemed fairly in line with what dubbing people would have wanted. And so even though it's not the most known game, I was trying to get a little game more known. Sally Face
was the most requested thing ever in the history of all things ever. And we weren't gonna do it. And then, like...
Oh my gosh, I remember the conversation that Rose does not remember. I go, we could do Sally Face. And she's like, yeah, people have been requesting that, but we're not gonna do that one. I don't want to do what's popular. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. And I'm like, okay.
I was all for it. I was like, I want to do this gory, twisted mess of a game. I want it. I was so stoked.
And I was like, I know of the first chapter. I know it's pretty decent, and I know it's very in line with what Frambo's like. It is a side-scrolling puzzle adventure game.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that is so Frambo.
I just wish now that Little Miss Fortune didn't have voice acting.
I am a little sad, but it just means it's an excuse to play that on girls' night.
True. And there are other games you guys have been requesting and should keep requesting.
I was gonna say, this is where I'm calling out, like, a lot, Frambo was highly requested, Sally Face was highly requested. I do want to do what you guys want. I mean, as much as I want to enjoy the content I make, I want other people to enjoy the content I make.
Yeah.
And I say I as in Featherfall, not I as in Sue.
Just Sue. No one else can be happy. Only lettuce.
So if you guys have things you want, like me and Chelsea, to play on Girls' Night, or stuff you want us to play as a group on Slumber Party, or things you want us to dub, please send us requests. It's part of how we judge what we want to do. Because there are things like, Rakuin, I was debating on dubbing that one, and instead I decided that it was better for a Girls' Night episode. But it's like, if you request it, it puts us in our brain of, we should look at putting this in the schedule of things that we do.
Yes. I like knowing that we're doing something that someone has been like, I want to see this, and then we put it out and we're like, you get to see this.
I was gonna say, part of the reason I did Girls' Night is I didn't see content of just basically Game Grumps but girls.
Girl Grumps.
Girl Grump.
Except I'm both Grump and Grump. I'm just...
and I'm sure there is that content out there, but just none of that content found me, or I found it. And so I'm like, well, I heard that if you want a certain content to to happen, make it yourself.
We're our own biggest fans.
I was gonna say, I watch our episodes sometimes multiple times. When Chelsea says it's gone up, I go excitedly go watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Because Girls' Night was made to make me happy, and I'm glad it makes other people happy. I love the video that Caloric Leader 9, little shout out here, put on his Instagram of us doing a live stream and him mentioning that he was from Girls' Night, and just me and Chelsea freaking out.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Caloric. I love that video.
It's just the best.
Yeah. We should also start doing more live streaming stuff too. I know Rose was like the main head with that, and Josh, but
yeah.
I mean, that could be like one of us rather than both of us too, so we could...
I was gonna say, or it could be just other people who want to do it from Featherfall. I love how we're brainstorming here.
Yeah.
I do know something I've been thinking about, and I'll just bring it up here because why not?
Why not?
I don't know if other people know. I try to make it fairly well known without like being all up in people's faces. I am Christian, and part of what I believe is that I should be helping others, that I'm called to serve. And the fact that I haven't done that yet on Featherfall annoys me. And so I'm going to solve that this year by, I want to do at least one charity event.
Ooh. I'm up for a 24-hour gaming.
I don't know if I could do that based on how I live right now.
I could.
But you could, and I could join for part of that time. So
we could have people jump in with me.
Hearing it here, I really want to do at least one charity event, if not more. I know the gaming community and the YouTube community really work very hard to do lots of charity, and the fact that us as Featherfall haven't been a part of that yet bugs me.
I live to bring pain, but I mean, I can bring pain to myself by doing things.
I was gonna say, it just sounds like you just made it so we have all of our goals based on hurting Chelsea.
Let's pick, like, you know, we can pick, like, an orphan charity so I can still feel good that there are orphans in the world.
Oh my gosh. Oh my word! So that's out there now. I really want to do that. Lots of people say it, and I honestly believe it. It doesn't matter if it's just you or if it's a small group or if anything. Any help helps the world, and so the fact that we haven't helped the world besides just bring joy with our content, I want to do that. I want to use the small voice I've been given to be able to impact the world for good.
And I'll be there trying not to burn things.
And Chelsea will be there not doing arson.
Aw. I mean, yeah. That's my goal. New year, new me. Not arson.
Not arson.
Not arson.
So with that, that pulls out our 2019 year of crazy. With all the changes and with all the stuff that has been happening, I just really want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for being there for it. And 2020, we're going to try and make some big things happen and do our best.
So from everybody here at Featherfall, thank you. And I don't know what I want to say after thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so incredibly much.
Thank you.
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 Haven here. These days I just fill a bit part every once in a while, but thanks for paying attention to this channel. Giving it your time. You've brought it a long way.
You do your best too. You have a kick-ass year, and you be here and comment down in the comment section what your goals are for this year, and then you go achieve those goals because I believe in you, you beautiful creature of the earth. Something like that, Sue?
Yeah, something like that. Just thank you, and we hope to make this year an amazing one too.
Until next time, we'll be around. Ciao, kittens.
Good night.